Hello and welcome back to another video review of rats. Today we have 5 rats on the screen for you to look at, and each one is a different rat for you to... No, this isn't... Alright, let's resume the process of painting. So let's go to the rat. Now this is just one of many enemies, so the whole game is on about rats. Sure, with all the emphasis of rats that has been done. Alright, let me play the music. What am I doing? I have remixed music that I should be allowed to play. Rip that. Zelda music. Put it at like... Get that Zelda music. Well, technically it's a remix. OC remix. So, not technically Zelda music. More like Link's. It's more like Link's logs, you know, like Link's. Wait, that's getting loud as hell. Let me put this down to minus 25. Alright, I'll have the headphones half on. Make me not. Alright. So we're back to Rat Boy. So where we left off, I still need to paint. I just need to paint these like fur strands on. So let's get the felt brush. Probably going to be the main one I'm using. It's good to have like certain brushes you always use so that when you create the artwork it like has a consistent look. Because if I start switching brushes all the time, people will get mad at me, they'll call me the brush bandit, and then they'll have to take me to ratcore. Whatever the hell that means. Alright, so let's resume. Oh, it's on so we actually did. When we paint these bad boys on. So I am going to try to do this stream every day, which will be hard to do because it'll be a minimum of 10 hours of... That'll be a day for weekdays. Then also I'll do YouTube videos in between when I can. I did just do a build review, or a team review. So someone sent me their Fire Emblem Engage team post game, and I like did a video review, looking at the builds they came up with, just like going for just seeing what they're doing in the builds, what they're going for. So I'm gonna start making that like a series pretty soon. I will be covering the new Prince of Persia game. It seems like it's only a 20-hour game, so I'll stream it when it ships, and we'll do guides on it and stuff. But I don't expect that to be like a long form thing. Maybe something for like 2 weeks at most. Gotta finish. Let's connect some of these. I expect players will be looking under here somehow. That's a great idea for a build review. Yeah, it's pretty fun. The one that was sent, there was a lot of really like high impact builds that were quite good. I was actually surprised. I asked them about the SP because like some of the almost every character had like axe, lance, sword power 5 with speed plus 5, and his dancer had I think it was Bonk. His dancer had like lunar brace plus, gentility plus. Everyone had like really good passives. It is possible to get that high of SP if you tier 4 well consistently. Get lucky as well. There's always going to be some variation, of course. I like pull these headphones. YouTube's still not pinging. Thankfully, I checked. Oh dang, dude! So it's just like kind of shoving the you just have to like see that I'm live. Rat time. How's it going, comma? Yeah, we gotta get our daily rat time in. Now this is just one of the enemies, so eventually we're gonna be working on other things too. Actually, once I finish this texture, I'll be moving on to the next things. I just jumped in. You were the one that sent me the builds, right? Because everyone's Discord name is different, but I think that was the one with the Pandreo build. I won't say what it is because it's awesome. The unique Pandreo build. Because like most people's Discord and their YouTube names are different. I'm just making sure. I'm pretty sure that's your Discord. Filet mignon. You need to set up a bot because sometimes I come in. I do. I will. I'll be streaming at the same times though. Today I started a little bit late because I had to make food. It's tricky to stream like within an hour time window. So if I need to make any kind of food and it takes longer than like an hour. Oh, you're Uwu? Oh, then who the hell did I... Oh no, not for your draft, for your team build you sent I think a while ago. But you're Uwu? Who's filet mignon? Or filet mignon? Dude, who is that? Shit, you're Uwu? Damn. Shit, who is that? I think I said it was you in the one video. I'll have to re-record it, damn it. I was pretty sure it was you. Yeah, everyone has a different name. Dude, who sent me that bill? Was it Sergio or something? Oh, it was someone. Damn it. It was like a few weeks ago, so I couldn't remember exactly who sent it, and everyone is different. So I'll have to re-record that. Because I kept referencing that it was your build, and I even opened the video with bonking. But I can review your one team. Yeah, I was reviewing. Someone sent me like endgame builds they had, and there's like some pretty crazy builds that were very high SP cost. Oh, Sergio's loot. Who's wait. Yeah, dude, it's so hard to get everyone's Discord and YouTube names right because it's everyone's names are mismatched. Who's the dude with the picture of the dog? Hold on. Who is this? Who is this? Wait, is it? The rat looks nice. You should have the person that made the notification add that bot to the Discord. It works good. Yeah, I mean, if I can see what the bot is, I can do that too. I can add it. But yeah, I definitely need to do that. The rat looks nice. Thank you, Ethan. Yeah, we're adding like the strands, and then like you can see I paint in depth so that it like kind of blends the strands into the fur better. So then it like has emphasis on certain parts of the fur. I like to check audio. Okay. Some of this music's kind of loud. Let me change the YouTube audio. This is remix, so I should be allowed to use it. It's like just coming in loud on my end. All right, how's that audio? Yeah, we gotta finish up this fur. I want to have like a really distinct art style that like stands out. Especially on games in the market. I'm gonna be hand painting everything. What is that? I'm just gonna have to learn to ignore some of these remixed versions because some of them are just completely weird. And I haven't heard most of them. It's on a playlist. But remixes are not original copyright, so... Yeah, I'll need to add the one Discord bot. Because I tried to do a thing with like webhooks or something, but then it wanted like access to my YouTube channel, and I don't trust some random thing to give it access to my YouTube channel to like post stuff to Discord, especially if it's public and people should be able to see it. So let's... Song sounds fun. There's this thing called Monster Cat I can subscribe to that has, like, no copyright music. Like, you pay them $7 a month, and then you can get access to, like, random types of music. But I don't know how good it is. Because it'll probably just be kind of like a mixed bag, like some of these remixes are. So, I don't know. Hard to say if it's really worth it. Because it's not like you're paying for, like, OST of, like, games and stuff that's really cool. You're just getting, like, random... music people made that are part of the platform. And I think a lot of it's like trap house. Groose is... Alright. Here's our boy here. I swear, like, some streamers just straight up play game OST. I'm pretty sure Choopy does that. He just, like, straight up plays, like, old video game OST. Like, you can. Pretty sure that'll get you in trouble, though. I don't know how people get away with doing it. Maybe, like, no one notices. But I have noticed a lot of people just straight up do that. Not really sure how that works. Like how people can do that. I guess they just like taking Zelda's Lullaby remix. They're probably smaller, the companies, Max. Yeah, because like you can't like just search like what companies music can you play on streams, because then they'll just get like forums that are like, you can't play any of it, you'll go to jail. Oh. You'll go to jail. Then you'll never see music again. Well, that doesn't sound... That doesn't sound... Well, they usually just get fined or... You don't immediately just go to jail. Playing music. Pay the court. Serve your sentence. That's too bad. I was hoping you'd resist. That's too bad. Oblivion guards were crazy, dude. Some of them were like psychopaths. Stop! You violated the law! I think there's someone who's like upset about Tamara in my comment section right now, so I told them just to comment that on everything. I'm just gonna encourage people to just post comments now. We gotta beat the algorithm. They keep commenting things about Tamara on things that have nothing to do with Tamara. This time for the Tamara content farm. What else aside from rats? What else aside from rats are we... Well, we're gonna have smaller rats, so I guess we will be doing rats for a little bit. Oh, let me turn on live chat. When does your game come out? And is it an FE7 remake? When does it come out? So I'm going to be pushing to do a Kickstarter with a playable demo that anyone can play, even if you don't back it. Like late April, early to late April. We'll say April. I don't know when. And if I have to delay it because it's taking longer by a month, that's fine. But because it's going to be pretty polished, it's going to have some like mechanics in it that could take some time to add. But we're going to be shooting for April, and then ideally 2 years after the Kickstarter, I would say. Then that's what I'm going to be aiming for, like what I'm pushing for. So like I've scoped out like what needs to be done. So this is like one of many enemies, and this is like, I don't know, like a week of work, working 30 hours. Maybe not a week of work. Maybe this is, the rat sculpt was like, yeah, I guess like a week for like 30 hours on the game project. Like getting the sculpt done and like getting to where we're at now. And this includes, like, this thing has like a whole outfit. It's actually a jester rat. There's different versions of it. This is the jester rat version, and then this is like without this stuff. This is just like a generic rat that you can run into. The Jester rat will be a stronger version that's controlled by the antagonist's factions. But I would say around 2.5 years, roughly speaking. It is not an FV7 Are there even rats in that game? I don't think there are. I probably would get sued if I remade and sold FV7. I think Nintendo and Intelligent Systems would just take me to court and win immediately. They're like, yeah, he blatantly just remade one of our games and tried to sell it like we wouldn't notice. So we're just gonna sue him. Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I thought that would work. Just remake someone's game. Remake Super Mario World and then see if Nintendo notices. Oh, they'll notice. They will not be happy with that. They will shut that down immediately. I wonder. Every month make a video on Tamara, free engagement. I'll make what I wanted to do, or like other things, like aside from Tamara, other units. I want to start doing like build videos, but I also want to do like best build videos where I like demo the absolute best min-maxed build and like stock maddening for each unit. So I don't care like exactly who's S tier or not or whatever in these videos. Like I'll try to even do like a best build for like ETA, and I'll even have like training stuff, like how to get them online if they have like a problem like with Anna or Jean and stuff. And Nintendo ninjas are. Will you ride the Jester Rat? There might be enemies that ride it. And you might be able to knock them off of it too. It depends on how tricky I want the mechanics to be. Or you might be able to kill them off of the rat. They have like their own health bar. Rat Tamer. Will Rat Tamer be a class? No, it'll be an enemy. It'll be a unique enemy. I mean, maybe in an update or whatever, I could do a thing where you can, like, meet a hidden character that used to be a rat tamer for the antagonist faction that's, like, reformed or something, and recruit them. I might do stuff like that. Oh, that's a good song. I actually recognize it. If I recognize it, it's good. That's how OST works. If I recognize the song, it's automatically good. If I don't recognize the song, it's not as good as it would be if I recognize it. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this stream every night. Every weeknight. You should. I want to become orange. Wait, what? You want to become orange? How does that make sense? Be a rat tamer? I'm not sure I follow the logic. Right. Get this. The front under part here. Front patchy. But it's also not filled out enough. It's actually kind of hard to see, like, most of these things here, panorama and stuff, like most of this stuff is like hard to see. You want to become a hat because he ride rat now? Yes, riding rat into battle would be cool. There are going to be mounts for sure, like that's part of the game already. I don't know exactly what the mounts will be yet. I know one of them will fly, I can say that. And there will probably be like a horse one. Or maybe I'll make something cooler than a horse, I don't know. Because let's be real, horses have had their time to shine. They've squandered their... they've squandered their potential. Or is he just the eyeball? I think he is the hat. In theory, and also the eyeball of the hat, which can be confusing. So that Jackbox game night we did on New Year's Eve, when I was playing that, there was no sound coming from it at all. So I just heard silence. I was watching Orange's stream to see like how like my voice turned out. And it turned out it was a little staticky and kind of lower quality than normal. So it could have just been accessed through OBS, or not OBS, through Discord. But there was like the game like talks to you and says things. From my experience, it was silent. Completely silent when playing that game. From the game itself. It was very weird. Orange is the sentient hat, and the girl who's on top of is named Anne. Right. Yeah, the orange lore. Or Angie. Yeah, the hat's name is Ori, or whatever. Talking about hat lore. Here. Oh, I listened to this unknown Nintendo game OST remix. Unknown, unnamed. Maybe a phoenix type animal. Yeah, we could have some. I do want to have different animals. I don't want it just to be like a Pegasus and shit like that. Like, I want the flying unit to be different. And not just to be different from Fire Emblem, but because it's not going to make sense for there to be a Pegasus in my game at all. Because that's like Greek and Roman mythology or whatever the hell. Which will have almost nothing to do with my game, so I don't want to like invoke that. That's where Pegasus comes from, right? So we don't really want to have other things, mythologies. Now I'm sure there's mythologies around like a phoenix, but I would have different things. Do it. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a bat. Okay, we can have a rat, but could we have a rideable bat? We might just have to have a Batman. A man who rides a bat. A Batman. That's great, dude. It's so stupid. This is the Batman. He rides the bat. He is the knight. Our upside down rat that's doing all the heavy lifting today. I'm not gonna have a flying unit like how Effie does it all. Why? What are you gonna do? Does that mean there's a rat man? There could be a rat man. There's gonna be rat knights and shit, so we're gonna have some funny things that will be semi-funny. It won't be too. We don't want to have too much fun. I want there to be too much fun in my game. No, there'll be a bunch of funny classes. It's not like a comedy game though. But I think rat knights are kind of neat. Just look at this guy. Look how much personality he has. Rat face. Look at him. This lighting looks weird because it's like very soft. This is so I can see underneath. The game will have like sharper lighting than this. And by that I mean like it'll be more precise, like mood lighting type thing. Like every area will have its own mood. Is that like a baking area? Hard to tell. Could also just be the way it's rendered. Get this going. What is your game based on? It's not really based on like anything existing. I would say it has like the architecture will be mostly like medieval Europe, but like with a stylized aspect to it. So there'll be like Gothic cathedrals and temples and castles and things like this. But the setting will be a little bit more unique. It's not going to be like Earth necessarily. It's going to be like a dystopian fantasy universe that has like a dark fantasy. Where chaotic faction of like these like this like carnival. It's like that's why everything's like a jester, like the jester rat and so on. This like chaotic carnival took control of this like formerly utopian civilization over time and controls most of it. And when you begin the game, you'll be trying to take back important things to sustain the smaller pockets of like survivors who are just trying to escape this like chaotic faction that's essentially lost their mind. They've all lost their mind. Kind of like splicers in BioShock type of thing. I do want to make the antagonist not just like insane though, like he's gonna have a point to what he's doing, but it'll be in a more grander scale instead of just like his own motivations. Like what motivates him will be part of something. Guess I'll just say that. I'm still working on the plot too though, but that's just like the overview. Kind of hard to explain. Basically, it'll be tied to a key item, kind of like. So you'll have flying based on an ability. Or like an item, rather. Yeah, I'm gonna have mounts. I'm not gonna have any flying characters that aren't on a mount. And there's gonna be a mount limit. You can only have so many mounted units deployed at any given time. There'll be separate limits for things. So there'll be like a utility limit for utility units to deploy that you control, mounted units. Dimitri, Edelgard, type debates on your own subreddit? Maybe? Let's see. Yeah, we'll get people arguing over the morality of what's going on in the game. For ages to come. Well, really the key is to make one of the characters have radical ideology, like Edelgard, and then make her somebody's waifu. And then people will defend that waifu. Someone's gotta defend that waifu. To excuse all of her war crimes. I honestly don't understand how people defend her. Like, as far as we can tell, the only thing the church does wrong is kill people who attack it in the game, at least from what I remember. People act like Rhea is like this crazy, like Rhea literally worships an actual god that objectively existed. So it's not like she's even in the wrong if people are rebelling against her and they're heretics, because her thing is real. Like it's like objectively real. So I feel like that's a different thing than just like her belief system versus theirs type of thing. It kind of takes nuance out of it, if anything. Like, yeah, Sothis was real, objectively, and you know that she's real too. Like, it's been proven to you that she exists. You have to just trust in the rat process, really. I think I'm gonna start getting into like meal prep or something. Or like making things in advance, because there's usually not enough time. Like an hour in between streams, in most cases. Pretty much what I have. Start adding these details. I have no idea. Too tired to think about 3 houses. Yeah, it's dumb. The political debate in 3 houses. Because most people will just side with the thing that they think makes the most sense to them. Dimitri is hotter, therefore he's right. Right. These. Get a few more of these, and then I'll start blending in details in another brush. Will you be able to recruit generic units? The only recruitable units will be named units. There won't really be generics. The only thing that will be generic, like the only enemies or things that will be generic, are basic enemy types. But even then, I want to randomize certain aspects of them, like texture and like props and stuff like this. So like early on, like this is like the only jester rat. Like it'll look like this, right? But later on, I want to have ones with different hats that'll still be functionally the same, but I'll make different props and we'll rig those and stuff. And I do want to add that for variety, different color schemes, but it'll still be like the same enemy type with similar stats. But this is like the default jester rat for now. So I want to make it, because like one thing I don't care for is when every enemy looks exactly the same. So if there's like 3 halberdiers, they all have the exact same face, the exact same height, the exact same like skin color, proportions, everything. Like I'd like to randomize it a little bit with like props and stuff like this. Maybe one has like messed up claws, another one has like a messed up face. I could create texture variants at the very least for the smallest amount of work without adding extra like rigging and stuff. Different factions of jester rats. Well, the catacomb section of the game will be largely the tutorial, where it gradually introduces concepts to you. But you'll be there for at least, like, I want to say like an hour or two. But it won't be like heavy-handed with the tutorial. It'll actually teach you things through gameplay. Why do I join chat and instantly see my name? I don't know. I think because we're talking about hats and someone thought about... There's an association of you and hats, so... Anytime hats are invoked in any fashion, people typically bring you up. Alright, let's do panorama again. Boy. Get this boy. Shadows. Because you ride a rat now, and I want to do that too. Yeah, you now ride the rat. Anytime hats are mentioned, you're basically creating guerrilla marketing for yourself. Guerrilla marketing. Really hat-based marketing. Where anytime people mention hats, you've created an association of hats in your... Some of these remixes are hilarious. Do you like the image of Vander I sent to your DM? Hold on, I'll check it in a minute. I can't check it on this computer because this has a different Discord for whatever reason. I had one for like work stuff. People associate me with hats. Some do. They're some weirdos on the internet, dude. But aside from that, some weirdos. Some hat-based enthusiast. Hat enthusiast. Unknown hat enthusiast. Hat enjoyers, if you will. Will there be cool magic attacks? Yeah. Yeah, there will be mages and stuff. They won't be like generic like sorcerers and things like this. They'll have different mechanics. There will be some like straightforward like AoE attacks and things like that, but I want to incorporate some mechanics that are like Guild Wars 1 that are interesting. Like Interrupt Mesmer, it's a pretty interesting class. like a class that shuts things down and prevents other things from doing things. Kind of neat. This song is funky. It's funky, but it's cool. Did anyone see that that one guy that was like some e-girls mod or whatever get like dunked on by her live on stream? It's pretty painful to watch. Penguin Zero did a video on it, like interviewed the guy and stuff. But basically, like, she was kind of just like bullying him on stream in a way where she's just like demeaning him, and like she's supposed to kiss him if she got super chatted $500 total, and she did. And then she was like talking so much trash right to his face about how like drunk she needs to be to kiss him. It was so bad, dude. It was crazy. I thought that was kind of funny. What? Yeah, you know Penguin Zero, the penguin boy? The moist meter. The moist meter. Imagine watching streamers. I watch his videos sometimes, and he brought up the streamer thing. Imagine watching streamers, that's funny. But yeah, like that's how I only know about it. I don't follow people like that. I do follow some other YouTubers and streamers, but not like e-girls. For obvious reasons. The reasons are obvious. Yeah, lady pisses you off. What are the obvious reasons? Rats. The obvious. Also, I have no need for some. That is the primary reason. I'm too concerned with creating rats. I am too concerned with rats and rat-based technology at this point in time in my life. Alright, let's some of that. I don't know how to respond to that. She sounds like a streamer. Oh, women? No, it's a e-girl is not a woman on the internet. E-girl is like a specific type of streamer who wears certain types of outfits on purpose, acts a certain way to like get dudes interested in her. There's a huge difference. Why not make the rat an e-girl? That's true, then we get more views. Then we would get more views. Like an e-girl is a girl who does shit for attention like that. Like she probably dunked on that dude for attention and it worked. So they tend to just be like clout chasers that just try to min-max. You know, getting super chats from dudes that frankly are in love with them. That's a different thing than just like a female content creator or a woman that creates content. Oh, she's that kind. Yeah, she's one of those. Yep. Yep. She just puts on like short shorts and talks to chat. An e-girl is not a woman. No, I'm differentiating between a woman who's streaming and an e-girl who is a woman who's using, we'll say, base human instinct to get their viewership instead of their skill as a content creator. We'll put it that way. They're invoking primal urges. I was just referring to the ego and anger management. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's all good. What is this? Scaling going. Right, I'm gonna skip this song. Art stream sabotage for content. That's funny. fire. Oh, that's... Alright, there we go. Alright, there's also those ego streamers, too, that, like, just, like, demand stuff from people. That's definitely not what you want. Really, the ideal type of streamer is literally a hat. It's literally orange. Orange metagame confirmed. Hat meta real? Question mark. TF2 predicted the future. TF2 knew that the hat meta would be real. But they did not predict the rat meta, which is what we're in right now, I would say. Oh, there was home. There's this one. Yeah, Rebecca E. Trip has good stuff. Let me go to her playlist. She has some good... And she has nothing but remixes. Yeah, let's go to the Water Element playlist. This is good. You may not like it, but this is what peak streaming looks like. Yeah. She has good remixes. Orchestral remix. I'd watch a rat stream. Alright, it's starting to come together, I think. At least the first. That dude might have been doing that shit for attention, though, to be honest. Well, not the dude, but the streamer plus the dude. They might be in on it together, and, like, she might just be acting like this so that people talk about it, so then people talk about her and her stream. And I think he's, like, kind of in on it, too, to be honest, so... I wouldn't be surprised if it's all just an elaborate ruse to get easy fame by pretending like she's just being really rude to him. But it could also be that she's just being really rude to him, too. I used to mod for a guy who had mad anger issues. They would always go off on people and get triggered on the smallest things. Really? Was it a video game streamer, or what was it? You don't have to say who it was, obviously. But, like, what was, like, the type of stream they did? That's interesting. They just go off on people. Are you saying that rats can't have hats? Just start getting fake mad about rats. So you're telling me rats can't have hats? The community was probably about 14 to 15. Oh dang. Was it like a Minecraft tuber or something? Or a Fortnite? A Fortnite disco dance? Fortnite disco tuber? A Fort tube? Fort tube? It's the new YouTube. It's FortTube. It's just literally nothing but Fortnite. That's all it is. It's the first layer of how... No, Fortnite. There's nothing wrong with Fortnite. It's really like some of the people that play it, because there's just so many people that play it. You can run into people who are insane. It seems like it's a decent game, honestly. But I just don't play Battle Royales, so I don't really have a interest in it. A FortTube. We get these strands. Nice, thick strands of... Have my condom. You think someone would do that? Go on the internet and pretend to be stupid / malicious for internet clicks? Dude, Orange, should we do fake beef? Should we do fake beef stuff? Where, like, we pretend to have, like, this back and forth thing? And now that I'm announcing it here, anyone can link to that, though. So ignore I said that, and I'll DM you later. We'll make fake beef. We'll have this, like, TF2 thing, and then we'll have, like, dude, let's make it like Minecraft PvP, where we have, like, real fake beef. It'll be fake, but it will act like it's real. And, like, it'll be like, you beat me. What do you mean, pretend? Yeah, we'll have... Dude, we have to do it. We have to get these algorithmic views. Here's a speedrunner. One you could say, rip and cannot get banned. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. Who the f are you even? Who are you? Someone in here. You think you could? I'll be like a Minecraft. I'll have like a fort, and you'll come up to me in Minecraft and be like, "You think you're gonna beat me?" We're both be like Southern for no reason. You think you're gonna beat me at Minecraft PvP? I could kill you with a bucket. And then it'll be like this whole thing. Yeah, that's probably a stupid idea, honestly. It's a dumbass idea. We need like fake beef in the community though. People kind of can like that. Sometimes. It depends. It's easier just to make content, to be honest, than do fake beef. But we could have competition. Why did you turn into Hank Hill? Did you tell me you don't believe in lava? Well, if you dig down to bedrock, there's some lava. And I seen it. And you can scoop it in a bucket. Just have this, like, dumb conversation about lava for, like, 10 minutes. It just keeps getting dumber and dumber. And, like, you're in, like, complete disbelief that lava's in the game. Or then we can, like, switch it, and then I won't think water is in the game. Keeps getting more and more stupid as time goes on. That actually could be funny, though, to be honest. And we could teach people about Minecraft mechanics while being in denial about them. We'll be some kind of Minecraft learning channel. Minecraft learning channel. What's the best thing to make fake beef on? I don't know, but this remake is great. I would put you in the fucking dirt. Fucking. Did you say you'd beat me in Minecraft PvP, young man? I'll have you know I'm top 3 in my hometown. In my hometown, no one plays it. Top 3, I'm the only one that plays it in my own. Top 3 PvP Minecraft. I used to play PvP Minecraft since I was a baby. How you expect to win against someone who has that much experience? With that much experience. You will not defeat me. Dude, I'll summon some rats. You better watch out. There are no rats. Or no, there's rats. Wait, are there rats? There are no rats in Minecraft, are there? There's bats, but there's no rats. What's up with that? How do they have a cave game? Hold on, can we talk about this? How is there a cave game and there's not even rats in the game? You know how hard it would be to make a rat texture? Or a rat enemy in Minecraft? It'd probably take them like a day. The graphics are literally blocks. It could take them a day to make a rat enemy. Why haven't they, though? Do they think rats don't live in caves? That's like the primary place they live, is caves. How are you gonna not have rats in your game? That's a cave game. Seems like they really missed out on the rat wave. Aren't bats just rats but with wings? You could say that. Pretty similar. I'm just surprised there's no like giant rat enemies or something. I mean, there's a creeper, whatever the hell that is. What is a creeper? It's just like a bunch of blocks. Really, a creeper is just a bunch of blocks. If you think about it. It's not even like an enemy. It's the dude was like, whatever, this guy just hops. He's silent because sounds are hard, and then he blows up. For no reason. Why not? It's a thing. Deal with it. It's in the game now. Like, imagine if this enemy was called a creeper. And it just, like, moved up to you, shook a little bit, and then exploded. So let's simulate that again. So you're over here. Moves up to you. Shh. He just flies off screen. That's a creeper. Alright? That's in Minecraft. That's a video game. This is understood. Creeper appearance comes from a glitched pig model that happened at some point in development. They added the front and the legs to go in the wrong area. Yeah. Glitched pig model. You know what is creepy though? There was someone made like this HD mod for Minecraft, and it makes the creepers look like grass almost. And when you see their face, it looks like this weird like shaman thing. It's actually kind of cool. But we're not going to talk about that. That's getting there. Alright, let's go back to this. Finish the strands. I probably have to add, well, add more up here. Yeah, we need fake beef. No, we don't really need fake. Though beef can get clicks, but it's usually short-term. Good solution. It's only a really good solution if you can get the attention of huge channels that will talk about you. And anything else is, like, probably not worth the effort. With the stuff like that. I love the idea of the eyeballs and claws only. Of having the eyeballs and claws only? Someone said to call it a ghost rat. So it's just the eyeballs and claws. Well, the eyeballs look silly, to be honest, if you turn the rat off. It looks insane and funny. This is... Alright, here's the ghost rat enemy. It's literally just... This is the ghost rat. Kind of moves around. That's all it does. Even then, drama clicks are temporary. Yeah. Yeah, they're like topical. Like people only care like as it's happening, and then it's not like evergreen content that keeps getting views after you put it on there. And people also have to care about the people involved, because like we're still pretty small time, I would say. Like I don't like even at 10k subs, I'm still like I'm like a tiny YouTuber still. I think like once you hit like I don't know 50k plus, you start to get like a decent amount of traction and following. 10k is still small time though, by like most standards. So we need to break through. Eventually. Yes, that's what we're talking about. You would burn out. Your community eventually die if you did drama stuff. I am bait. Yeah, you can, especially if like you're known for making content on certain things. And then like all of a sudden you're like a drama channel, people be like, ew. No, I wouldn't become a drama channel. I do kind of want to get into gaming news though, like just talking about like developments, like gaming news that are interesting to discuss. I feel like that would be something good to do for like additional content. But not in place of the actual content I usually make. Just something to do like quick little videos. To like hit a new algorithm angle. Let's start like blocking in some of these patches. I could do Nintendo news. That would be a fun thing to do with other people too. Have like little quick videos. I need to plan a lot of things. I need to start planning more collaborations and stuff. And like even for like this stream, I could be on someone else's stream while I'm working on art. If I don't want to stream that day or whatever for like the art. I could just be hanging out with someone while they're streaming. I could have it on the other screen watching type of thing. Okay, this side is completely here on the leg. I'm streaming Egg Hatcher later. What is Egg Hatcher? And by later, I mean in 15. What is Egg Hatcher? I haven't played newer Pokemon. Long time ago, I used to stream shiny hunting on Pokemon. What is shiny hunting? Yeah, I'm so out of the... Running a Pokemon, that's the wrong color. Wait, what? You guys talking about? I have no idea. I haven't played a Pokemon game since like Red Blue version on the Game Boy Color. That's what I played. Dude, people were trading their school lunches for like holographic Pokemon cards in like the early or like the late 90s. It was hilarious. That was like a real problem at my elementary school. It was like the Pokemon crackdown. People were constantly getting their cards stolen. I had my Pokemon card stolen twice. Like, it was just a complete craze. This guy doesn't play Pokemon. Good, don't. It got so unbelievably bad. Did it? You reload a Pokemon save until you get a 1 in 8,000 chance your Pokemon to be... What? 1 in 8,000? Dude, I wouldn't do that. Why would you do that, though? Here, you wanted the Pokemon to be a different color? Just change the palette. Like, just start changing the colors. Fully customizable rat paint. See, at ICG and Associates, we believe in fully customizable rats. And we handle all of your rat needs. Does your rat have too much fur? We can handle that. Does your rat have not enough fur? We can't help you with that. Balding rats is a serious problem. There's no solution. But we can help you with any other rat-related problem. Balding rats. It is impossible to fix balding rats. That is not a thing. You will need to consult a rat witch doctor to help you. Oh, this is the one remix of Secret of Mana song. A Wish. Here, I'm gonna play this for you. Let's see if I can find called SNES Pure Land. Secrets of Mana. What is the song? Still of Night? Pure Night. Alright, so let's see. Pure Night. Mystical. Oh, here we go. Mana Mystical Remix. Let's try that. Oh hell yeah, and it's what's her face too. The same person we've just been listening to. Loved breeding and shiny hunting. Shiny hunting. Wait, is this it? Oh, okay, it is. It just takes some time to pick up. The newer games have issues. Are they buggy or what's going on with them? This is the closest I can get to this song. I'll just try playing the OST. Pretty good. They're rushing new games to get them out so they're buggy, look bad, and are generally unpolished. Oh, that's stupid. Why would they do that? Or are they just like pumping out games? It's the Skyrim company problem, basically. Bethesda. That being said, the latest one somehow has some of the best writing in the series. Yeah, but best, what does that even mean? Best writing in the series? It's Pokemon. You know what I mean? This is not like the Breaking Bad of YouTube. The Breaking Bad. Like, what? How good can Pokemon's writing truly get? Hey kid, you want to catch them all? Yeah. Your dad died. What? You now have a tragic backstory. Oh, I was gonna do the hoo-ah, but it's the wrong computer. I can't do the Ness hoo-ah! Damn it. I wanted the hoo-ah, but I can't. You now have a tragic backstory. This is called character development. Breaking Bad of Nintendo. They have no polish on them whatsoever. It's like the developers hate the game. Dang, that's bad. Yeah, they definitely don't have hand-painted rats in those games, do they? I'm like bragging about it. Such a dumb... It's the worst flex in history, to be honest. Latest game does have a dead dad. Oh, hell yeah, I called it. Character development. His dad is dead. Character development. Like, how is that character development? Isn't that just, like, hardship you had to go through? It is. Hardship is character development. Characters 101. Dead dad. Dead dad. Spoilers. I mean, the writing to me is secondary to game feel. Destiny's my favorite game, and the story was trash because it's so fun to play. Yeah, I agree. The way the game plays is the most important thing. Some people are all about the story, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, it's called a video game, not a storybook. Mister. Mister. It's called a story game, not a video book. I can't do what either. I don't have the Drogos what on this computer. I was gonna do that, but now I just sound insane. So, all right, let's continue. This D. Let's go back to the playlist. So I don't have to keep track of it playing copywritten songs or not. Yeah, Starfield. Lol video vote. Yeah, do you like that? I made it seem like I was talking about the other thing. And like, see, I try to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about sometimes. But in reality, I actually don't. So it's not hard to do. In reality, half the time I am just rambling like an insane person. And that's part of my charm, we'll say. The charm of an insane. Golfs rats in his free. Now that the secret's out. Now that the secret's out. All uphill from here. This isn't a bad, like, orchestral remake. I feel like sometimes with these, like, orchestral remakes, they have too much complexity that kind of, like, works against the simplicity of the song. If that makes sense? Where, like, the main theme of the song and the main instruments of the song have more weight to them, and by adding in all these extra things, it kind of, like, disperses it. Yeah, I don't know about music theory, but that's, like, the feeling I get from listening to some of these. Where, like, adding more complexity to a simple song that's, like, heavy, that hits hard, usually doesn't improve it necessarily. It can make it sound more elegant or something, but it doesn't add to, like, the emotional weight of the song. There's my music rant for the day. Just something I've noticed with, like, some of these remakes. Where often, like, the original song just has more to it with less. Now, there are complex songs that can be really well made, too. Ocarina of Time, the Ice. I'm definitely like a gameplay first type of person. Because I have seen and heard these stories before. Story about rats. Story about hats. I've heard of these things. So I already know what's going to happen in these. The Rat King is going to steal the crown, and then the princess has to go to jail, and then you have to bail her out, and then drive her home. And that, like, I understand where these stories are headed before they even really get there, so like they're just kind of predictable, you know? Like bailing out the princess for committing rat crimes is pretty standard storytelling stuff at this point in time. And honestly, people need to really try to come up with something new. Maybe make the cat responsible for once, instead of just always making it, like, blamed on the rat. Just, like, making up this fake problem that doesn't exist. This is from personal experience. No, I'm talking about animals here. I'm talking about animals committing crimes, and then a princess going to jail on behalf of those animals. Because she was framed, and you're the protagonist of this kind of, like, nightmarish, stupid game, where it's almost like the inverse of, like, Bowser, where, like, instead of the evil dude taking the princess commits a crime, then gets framed by Bowser, basically, by, like, the rat equivalent of a Bowser. And then you have to bail her. You have to like work like odd jobs as the player's character, and you have to like bail out this princess because she's cool, and that's what you do. But she didn't do it either. Like, she's being framed, so like she wasn't framed. She was just a good person. Didn't want to take the rat. Didn't want the rat to take the fall. Yeah, it turns out the rat was actually innocent, and he's the good guy. In this theoretical story, but this is an overdone story. We've all heard this story 1,000 times. The princess rat jail story. We've all heard it, you know? Very common trope. To be honest, it's a tired trope. They need to come up with... Hollywood really needs to come up with better things in video games. That's all I'll say. Because it's definitely Hollywood making these stories in video games. That is who makes stories for games. Typically speaking. Predictable can be good if well executed. Please design Etienne. What? I like how it's getting more unhinged with me just like saying nothing now. Please design. What do you mean design Etienne? You want Etienne? Alright, here's her frickin' ears. Here's her little dumb head. Here's her stick body. Here's her bow. And here's her arrow. And then here is her getting one-rounded. Here's her getting one-rounded. We drew her on a rat. There's her Etienne. Here's her getting one-rounded on her join map. Here's Etienne getting one-rounded on her join map. Dude, I should... Oh my god, I should start making things like that. Make rat Etienne? Oh my god. Rat Etienne. I should start making like little dumb comics where it's just like Etienne getting one-rounded on her join map, and then another player in the next panel saying how she's the best unit ever. I don't even know if she can get one-rounded on her join map. I think she can, actually. I think a Pegasus can one-round her, can't it? Or it puts her at like 5 health or something, because they have very low attack. Because it's the first map they introduced Pegasuses or whatever. They made them, like, really weak. Can she get one-rounded from full on her join map from any of the enemies? I think the axes might be able. I don't understand. How does it look? How does that look like Etienne? It's a stick figure. I'm not gonna draw Etienne on a rat, alright? I don't have time for that. You know, rats don't grow on trees. These rats don't grow on trees, alright? Someone has to plant... Someone has to plant these rats. What the hell am I saying today, dude? Someone has to plant these rats? Like, it's like a seed. You have to sow the seeds of rats. We have to plant... Someone's got to plant these rats. That's what people understand. They think rats are free. I mean, technically they are free. They're free to do whatever the hell they want, really. In a way, in a kind of way, they're free. They're free from the toil of everyday human life. And they're free to explore and expand in the underground cities of New York, or the underground sewers of New York City. Best way to grow a rat is by burying cheese. Yeah, you wouldn't grow a rat, would you? You wouldn't steal a car. Wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't download a baby, then download a fire, then download the baby inside of the car, and then download that fire onto the car. Would you? Downloading is theft. Piracy is a crime. You wouldn't steal a car. Okay. I would. You would? How dare you? How dare you steal a rat from his natural habitat? Alright, there we go. We're starting to get these strands. So I was actually thinking about changing the entire premise of my game to a stranding type game, like how Death Stranding is a stranding archetype. No, I'm not doing it. What? So, alright, has anyone played Death Stranding? I haven't played this, but I've seen people talk about it. I remember there being like all this like hubbub, we'll say, because that's a funny word. Hubbub about it being like a new type of game where the dude was like, oh, it's a stranding type of game. It's not like your normal types of games. What is a stranding game? Is that like a walking simulator with tons of cutscenes? Like, what does that mean? Like, if we had to define it. Like, imagine you're the guy that writes the dictionary on gaming. Which is real. How would you describe it? How would you describe the dictionary? What does... I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell it means. Stranding. It means something. It means something to someone somewhere. I just remember they were like, it's a stranding type game. All this time spent making a rat. I'm a one-round them. You will not be able to. One-rounding is not even going to be a thing. I just keep zooming in. No, like, one-rounding is literally not going to be a thing. Instant kill... There's not going to be, like, instant kills, really. There's going to be, like, tactics in this. Insofar as, like, setting up kills, setting up damage spikes, and things like this. So, like, if you kill a rat in a single turn, it's going to take a lot of resources in your units to do that. Like this, because this is like a mini-boss. But what if they do? If they one-round it? Well, then I'll ban them. I'll ban them from the game. No, I'm going to be testing the crap out of this game during balancing and stuff. For the demo, if people find things, that's fine, because that's just, like, the demo. But, like, once the actual game is released, it's going to be play-tested to the point of absurdity. Like, I'll probably have, like, 1K plus hours on the finished game before it ships, so... And then I'll patch things, too. So if someone finds, like, some stupid thing... Like, if anything's an exploit, it'll get patched. If something is just good... I probably leave that alone. Ban? Yeah, I'm just gonna ban them. I can't... It's a single-player game, you wouldn't even know. You'd have no way of knowing. You're banned. Banned for coming up with good tactics. No, you'll have to actually, like, execute moves in sequence to do that. How big is this rat? 1K hours. How big is this rat? Boom! It's huge. It's gonna be the size of like a small car. I keep saying that. So like this one, yeah, because like it might look like it's small, but in reality, if you're standing next to it, you'll be like here. If you were like, I don't know, 5'8". So it's quite big. This is like a mini boss. This type of rat. There will be dumber rats that are smaller, that are easier to kill, that you can kill in a single hit. Or like quickly. This is like a mini boss rat that makes, this is the large rat that makes all the rules. Not as easy to kill. That needs to be noted when engaging with these. It's so hard to see like here. Here we go. Okay, angle. Look at this stuff. Yeah. A real New York rat. This one's made out of cheese. It's made out of cheese. There we go. We're almost done with this section. Then we can start painting the other stuff. And then I'll do a touch-up too. Like this is just the... I can add like a highlights color that I paint on certain blocks to make it pop out more. So there'll be like a shadow that pushes it down. This is all on the height map. So it's not modifying the mesh itself. Oh, what is that? Oh, look at this. Ah, I see that. Haha. Yeah. There's a little dot missing. It's like so hard to tell, but I noticed it, and it bothered me enough to... He looks like a prequel Masters. Yeah. Could be. Alright, search for the knife palette. This is such a good brush. I love this brush. So here's like the details we've been adding. So you can see it. So here's with the fur strands. And here's with the shadows. The shadows also create depth. So if I zoom in, like look at how the light hits it. You see how it like, I can zoom way in so you can see it. You see how it like hits this like texture here? I'm using a textured brush. So when I add these from far away, it kind of looks like fur. And you'll be viewing the rat like from at this scale. It'll look pretty good, I think. I really want to add military tactics too. It bothers me how FE is mostly just mount spam. Like military tactics, like what is it? Shoot and move. Also, just like how an FE flying invalidates a lot of classes. Yeah. But what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about flying? The perfectionism, though. I think this already looks perfect. What's your next character gonna be? So we're gonna do... This is large rat. We're going to do a small rat. This is for the demo. Small rat. And then... I can do a rat tamer, which will be like a little dude that has like a whip and has like a bag of food. And it'll be a really weak unit if you attack it, but it'll buff rats and throw food on you so that the other rats can advance you and get buffs and stuff. And they'll get like free attacks on you if they're near you and food is thrown. So it'll be like one of these types of things. But there's still a little bit of work to do on this as well. I don't think I'll finish it tonight. I'll finish the fur tonight, or at least most of it. The mechanics will be similar. Like, I'm gonna have the same level of scrutiny on mechanics as I do on the art. So, like, everything that I add to it will be, like, as polished as I can possibly make it. And then I can always do updates later if something is, like, messed up in some way or unbalanced, whatever. But I'll try to ship it so that the demo is, like, pretty... Like, it's gonna be based around breakpoints of dealing certain damage. Will kill certain enemies. So I'm gonna be very mindful of, like, how many attacks it takes to kill enemies and... like hit rates and stuff. And hit rates can be mitigated with hitting from the back and sides. It'll increase hit rate. And you can also increase them by this like little mini game where the cursor will move across and then you like hit A when it's on like a certain color zone. That'll give you like a higher hit rate and a slight damage increase, but not a big damage increase because I don't want to punish people who can't do it. Or over reward it, because it won't be that hard to do once you get used to it. And it might also be an option, too. I might just have, like, old school, like, just hit rates as a thing. For people who don't want it at all. But that would be added later. Because it really isn't hard to code stuff like that, as long as you set it up right. I was just gonna ask if I could be lazy for the minigame. Well, yeah, the other thing too is if you just... There'd be like a giant white bar, and if you just hit A during that, or like the action button, like whatever, you know, mouse 1, A button, whatever you map it to, it'll just automatically do like a general attack that has like an average, your average hit rate. Whereas if you get it in like the red zone, it'll be increased hit, and then it'll be increased damage. And it'll be like, probably like, I don't know, 30%, 20% increase of damage. And certain characters will have higher increase on that. That'll be more skill-based mechanically. But it'll be quick, and there won't be like... There's going to be like 5 to 7 units deployed a map, so it's not going to be like you're going to have to do this 20 times a turn. And that'll be intentional, because I don't want the maps to get too bloated with like too many units, because I feel like that can kind of devalue the individual tactics or like the smaller team sizes. And I might have the occasional map with high deploys, but not like over 12, I would say. Most will be like 5 to 7. Look, man, I can barely do Steam CAPTCHA. Don't you play TF2? What are you talking about? Don't you literally play TF2? You can't do a mechanical thing. Pretty sure you play TF. Your name is Bonk. And you play on Steam. Therefore, you must be good at video games. At least a little bit. Mechanically. Shh, we don't talk about that, yeah. Yeah, I knew it. What song is this? Oh. It just has a similar thing to other songs I know from a different game. Especially the fire hydrant one, I can't do that CAPTCHA. The one that says click all the images of the fire hydrant in it. I'm the medic guy, remember? Yeah, but I'm sure you still Crusader's crossbow people, don't you? How will leveling work? That is a good question. Currently it's undecided. One thing I don't care for in Fire Emblem is leveling, actually. I feel like it doesn't really add anything. Because typically all leveling is it's a time gate into higher stats. Right? So like if you want to get to higher stats to catch up with the enemy, you level up. and then the enemy's level scales with you, so it's almost as if it barely matters in the grand scheme of things, assuming that you're just leveling your units like you should be. So I would actually rather focus on upgrades. So like say for example you could forge new weapons or gear that are different than what you're using, but not necessarily better, or that have different abilities, or that open up some new playstyle. Because I think that's more interesting than like you leveling up, because then you can have side grades, then you can have new abilities on the weapon you're using, and then try those out, because you only have 3 abilities at a time per weapon. So like if you're running like sword and shield on the main character, you could get an upgrade that gives her like different armor, that reduces move by 2, but drastically reduces damage when you time guard, which is when she like enters like a guard stance, or she could auto time guard if you're in a guard stance, or like there could be some mechanical difference. I feel like leveling is a tradition, that's why it exists. Yeah, I don't really think it adds anything necessarily, because like really what you want from leveling is like new shit. So it's like, oh cool, I leveled up, where's my new shit? So like really what you want is new shit. So like if you want like a, you know, an upgraded weapon that does something different, or something, you know, better than what you have, or whatever, that's basically what leveling is. It's like this idea of like progression. So there will be different units and different things and different systems that open up as you play the game. But I don't know that I want leveling. It's difficult to imagine you without level. The core mechanic for progressing. It can be, but here's the other thing too, though. Like, if you... So, like, I'm not, like, the best chess player, but I have gotten to a level of, like, a roguelike RPG. I don't know that it is, necessarily. But, like, when you improve at chess, like, you start to see the game differently. And I kind of like that aspect of chess, where it's like, if I hand you new tools as you master the game, that will be the progression. You getting better and understanding the game will be the progression, instead of your character stats just inflating. But the thing is, it's all like an illusion too, because like the enemy stats inflate too. So like the level ups typically are like this like pseudo... It's almost like a trick. It's like they're basically convincing you, oh my god, you're better, you're higher level. You look at the numbers increase. But the reality is, like, all the numbers are increasing across the board, and there's like a difficulty curve. And they track the stats over time, and they track the average growths, so they know, like, okay, by this time you'll be 20 speed, so you'll need to be 24 speed to double. It's like, alright, by this time you'll be 30 speed, so you need 34 speed to double. And then you run like speed plus 4, whatever. And it ends up just being like this thing where it can be exciting to level, but I would rather you find some new artifact that opens up a new style of play. That's interesting, never thought about that. Yeah, I would rather it be like, there will still be progression, but it won't be leveling. So you could get like a new artifact that completely gives you a unique ability that you couldn't have otherwise. Or you could get a new weapon that lets you interact with the map in a different way, or applies a debuff, or whatever. So like anytime you get something new, it'll kind of like encourage you to experiment with it and see how it does, and see what it's capable of, and how it can play in your team comp. So that way you have like new things to play with, and, you know, mechanics to build teams around and to execute on. But yeah, like the leveling thing, it's almost like a trick. It can be fun to have, but I personally, if I had to choose between level ups or new artifacts and new abilities, I would always pick new artifacts and abilities, because level ups, typically it just scales some stats and just makes your character statistically better, but new mechanics is like new shit to play with, and I prefer that. That's the mentality of Guild Wars 1, where you hit level 20 relatively quickly, and then it's all about making different builds. And people still come up with new and interesting and weird builds for that game, because it's just such a good game. That's like more in line with like my thinking for that. I'm trying to think like if level ups could be... Usually it's compelling if it unlocks new mechanics, but then it's just like a gated thing that could also be like, as you progress you get these mechanics, or you can find them, or whatever. So it's just a way to distribute stats usually. Or to create the illusion of progress. Because people feel like, oh, I used to hit 5 damage, now I'm hitting 50. But it's okay, now the enemies have 10 times as much health. So it's like the same. Because like really what matters is how many hits to kill. That's definitely, I'm definitely going that route. I've had discussions with the guy I'm deving with. Yeah. Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like if your damage is increasing, but it still takes you 3 hits to kill or 2 hits to kill as you progress through the game, like they typically do that in I don't know, like action games too. Like you'll get like the new weapon, and they'll let you kill a few of the older enemies with it, and then all of a sudden there's new enemies that are higher HP. So now the new weapon is just as good as the old weapon was relative to the power of the previous enemies. But how do rats factor in? You might be wondering. How do rats factor into all this? That's a good question. That's a great question. Scientists to this day do not. One idea is like node system where you get points every chapter to put into a tree. Skill trees are also decent. There can be problems with that. I mean, there's pros and cons to every system, right? So the like one of the pros of skill tree is as long as it's like assuming it's kind of balanced or whatever, which we're kind of assuming that for most of these systems. The thing that controls when you unlock new mechanics is generally prerequisites, which is typical. So like you have to unlock A and B to get to C, or if it's in a line, you have to unlock A, and then you have to unlock B, and then you have to unlock C for like a skill tree. Or you can't unlock skill C until you have like 3 points, but then you can get these like worse perks or these like lesser perks that still are pretty decent and do something different. That's like an issue, or that's not an issue, but that's like kind of like an idea for it. The perks. I do think some games go insane with perks. Not that, like, you can have a really simplistic perk tree and it can be pretty good. But I feel like a lot of modern games, like indie games, they'll have like these insane perk trees with like all these abilities and all these things, and a lot of them are just kind of samey. Have you seen Lies of P skill tree system? Is that what you're explaining? I'm just explaining a generic system. That's how most skill perk system. That's how Skyrim does it. That's how Fallout does it, for the most part. Other games, similar games, like even Mass Effect 1, I think to some degree too, has like a kind of perk tree thing where you unlock, you know, different tiers of stuff. But Lies of P probably has like a similar system. I actually haven't played that game. But that's like the typical perk tree system, right? More thinking of branching paths, for example. Main character could go into blades or muskets. So like a forked like class attribute perk. So like you're not changing classes in the perk tree, but you're modifying what a class can do. I could see that being interesting. I could see that being like a something for like replay value. I like the Guild Wars approach, which it lets you just freely change things, but you're limited into what you can do. So you can make any build basically. You have 8 slots and like a set amount of points to allocate, but you can reallocate them on the fly when you're in towns before you go back out into dungeons and missions and stuff. So I like that approach because it encourages experimentation. You're not punished if you mess up. Because one of the things that can suck about some of the games with like you know, SP costs like an engage or perk systems is that if you invest in the wrong perks, if there's no way to get those points back, you're just like locked in for the rest of the game, and it could like force you to restart. Sometimes, not always, but it's a straightforward system that feels good to use. Good balance of restrictions and customization. All right. Yeah, I haven't played that game. It looks decent. I don't really play the Souls-like games. I also don't really have time anymore anyways. I'd have to, like, stream it. But most people follow me for, like, Fire Emblem stuff now, so it'd be kind of weird to stream that at this point in time. That's what I was thinking, since objectives are gonna be way different every map. Yeah, if you can reset perks, that's cool. Or if you just like choose, like you have like 5 perk points or whatever, and then you can like unallocate them or reallocate them, like depending on what you want. Because that's ideal for like changing. How do weapons fit into this? So the way weapons will work is each character has a unique class with unique mechanics, and each weapon that character uses will have its own mechanics and like weapon skills, and each character will have at least 2 weapons, and you can choose which one to bring with you at any time, but you can't switch necessarily in the middle of combat. So you would like choose what weapon you're running, and then you would choose like abilities for it. Maybe in defensive map you go muskets, but in a rainy map. Oh, you want to do rainy maps? I don't know that I would even do that, to be honest. Rainy map. I mean, it could be done well, but I know people hate movement debuffs. I mean, there can be a way to do them, but make it interesting. I just know they removed rain from Fire Emblem. Probably for a reason, from like playtesting. People hated it or something. Like, kind of like Fog of War. I don't know why Fog of War is still around. I don't think anyone likes those. They're usually just weird, because the AI has perfect information of where you're at, but then you have no idea where they're at. And they can, like, completely play around what you're doing, and you're just, like, completely blind, unless you use a specific item to reveal them, which... Why? It's weird. It's like, here's the problem, and here's like a near perfect solution to the problem, as long as you have like a couple hundred gold, which you do have. So it's almost like they're just like wasting your time with Fog of War. I feel like it could be done in an more interesting way. I've been playing Advanced Wars by Web, do this website. Yeah, I messed around a little bit with Advanced Wars. I had like the remake or whatever. I made like a few videos on some of the chapters. I kind of lost interest in it though, because it's like it's just really hard to shake this feeling that it's just like it just feels generic, if that makes sense, because like all the units look the same. There's no personality in like the characters that you're using, like on the map. The people you play as, there's like a little bit of personality here and there, like the CEOs or whatever, but in the actual units you use, it just feels like I'm just fighting like a mirrored army of myself. And I felt like the mechanics were just like okay, but I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. I tried to, but I feel like a lot of people had a similar experience. I don't think that game, like the Advanced Wars by Web, I've heard good things about, because it's like PvP, people play it a lot. They devote a lot of time into it, getting good at it, so it's kind of like chess in a way. Whereas like the remake, I think it was like difficult to do online, and that was like the main reason why people even wanted it. I agree, characters are too generic. Yeah, they should have like cool, like I feel like each CO should have their own unit types, and then all of a sudden, now it's like, now we're talking. Now we have like different things to deal with, instead of just like, here's a tank, here's also a tank, but it's red instead of blue. Alright. Kind of neat, I guess. It's slightly different. It's the same tank, but it's recolored. It's a recolored. Alright, so the rat is looking better. Go through, let's scrutinize his details, as we do. This one, kind of make this a little bit. It can be difficult with remakes too, because I feel like Advanced Wars has like a cult following, but not so much that it's like, I don't know, Metroid. Like when they remade Metroid Prime, that was like a hit game, right? That wasn't like a cult following game. That was like one of the biggest games on the GameCube. So if you remake that game, it'll probably sell well, and especially if you do it right. But if you remake like what I would consider to be like a cult following GBA game, it's probably not going to do as well. I mean, it could if it like if it blew everything out of the water, had like really good features the people that play that game like want. It could, but I just don't think it did. I like the spear. I like spear-like weapons. Well, I have some good news for you on that. I have a character who uses a Naginata that's a ninja. She's gonna have Naginata as one of her weapons, and then something else. Maybe a Wakizashi. And the Naginata will be 2 range, 1 to 2 range melee. I was kind of hoping that the new Advance Wars remake would have been like this really hype game, and you never know what games are gonna do well though. Hyped for this? Oh, thanks, Austin. Hyped for the rat. The rat enemy. So I think this level for... I don't like how this just looks like it's going into itself. Let's kind of patch this up. Make this a little bit more chaotic. There we go. Alright, then the underside. I think the underside looks good. I think the base fur is looking deep. I'm surprised the Advance Wars remake didn't get more coverage. You have me hooked? Hell yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have some interesting characters with different weapons. And the one thing about the Naginata was it was gonna make it have sweep attacks, and it was gonna be able to get back crit sweeps, because that's something that I liked about Roland in Triangle Strategy, that he could get AoE crits with a spear and like lane nukes, but it would be like sweep back crits. And maybe like a thrust back crit that can hit like 2 units that are lined up. So like if the enemies are facing away. And then for like this enemy, he's a 2x1, so he's 2 blocks wide by 1 block. So if you do like an AoE attack and you hit both of his tiles, he'll take bonus damage. Same thing with all multi-box enemies. So certain characters will be better at fighting them. You might be working on Game of the Year 2025 right here. I hope so. I'm gonna do my best to make it as good as I can. Alright, so let's do... I can start emphasizing parts of the fur even more. Let me, like... You have to scrutinize your art. Because if you don't, someone else, they'll be mad at you. Hey! What is this? You're like, I don't know. What's going on here? You can scrutinize this rat fur detail. Imagine finishing off 3 enemies in a group of 3. Yeah, that would be the idea. So you could get like AoEs in. I want to have like meaningful AoE attacks. And they're not just going to be like instant kills. I don't want any instant kills unless it's like really set up and deliberate. That's one thing that always bothered me about crits in Fire Emblem. Unless like you set it up. But even so, like setting it up is usually like a build. Where you like attribute, you give them certain weapons, certain passives, and then they just kill everything they attack. And it can be fun to get crits, but it always felt like unearned to me, for the most part. Like if you get multi-kills, I want it to feel like you planned it, because that'll give you a dopamine hit. It difficult, but intentional, gives you dopamine hits. That's what I've learned from all my years of gaming. So if something is hard to pull off, but it has a huge reward, like landing, you know, air shots in TF2, or in, like, Tribes, you know, hitting those fast-moving enemies with a projectile. That'll spike, that'll get you addicted to those games pretty quickly. What you're saying is you don't like Dimitri. The unearned crits. Like, crits can be fun, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing crits, but it does, like, when you 1 round off of, like, some cheap gimmick build, I feel like I haven't really done anything skillful to, like, earn that 1 round. Alright, I'm noticing... something. We gotta pump this up a bit. There we go. We have to be willing to the rat. I love those games. I use the cheating mouth mechanic in Three Houses. My Dimitri is so overpowered. Oh, the cheating month. Cheating month. I read that as cheating mouth mechanic. I was like, what the hell is the cheating mouth mechanic? What the hell is that? You love those games? Hell yeah, dude. Is that an argument, or is that argument not compelling for Souls-like games? Well, the Souls-like games have deliberate attacking, don't they? With, like, deliberate dodge rolling. So, like, even though I'm not a fan of the Souls-like games, it's not because they're bad games. I just don't like the mechanics as much. But they're, like, when you attack, you have to time your attacks, you have to time parries and dodge rolls and stuff, so it's a very deliberate game. So, like, when people play these games and they pull off, you know, good combos against difficult-to-hit bosses, or they, like, line their attacks up right, they get that dopamine hit. Because it's really, that's, like, what gaming is. Like, pursuing some kind of mechanical or mental challenge that, when you execute it, makes you feel good. At least that's what I've observed through my own gaming habits. Like, it's same thing with, like, Engage. If you, like, theory craft some Engage build that seems weird and bad, but then it turns out to be good, you might be like, oh shit, I found out this cool thing. Like, yo. I see, like, some of this is looking too, like, samey. This be a little different. Wow, you just drew a direct line from Mario 1 to Dark Souls. Yeah. Well, anything that is easy to understand but hard to execute, and then when you execute it, is usually, like, that's, like, pretty much any game that's good has that. Got the same in my mind now, just the difference in degree. Yeah. Yeah, so every game is basically the same thing. Like, part of the reason why people like games like basketball, even, is because it's generally hard to consistently shoot baskets, especially at, like, the three-point line and further out. Like imagine you're in the NBA and you landed a half-court shot. You're gonna, even though it's only 3 points still, your dopamine is gonna be spiking off the roof. That's gonna be in compilations for the end of time for NBA, because that's a hard shot to make, and you did it. So it's like that. It's basically like that, right? And that's like why most people get interested in sports. Like, golfing is inherently difficult. It's a simple concept. You get a ball in a hole, but it's a small ball, it's a small hole, it's on a huge field. The people enjoy it because of the skill required to manipulate the ball, put spin on it. I think they put spin on it, don't they? And to, like, do that. Dark Souls 1 is literally a modern 3D take on Zelda 1. That's amazing. There's in my mind now. So what makes the game not enjoyable or boring? Yeah, basically. How did we... Hold on, how is this? I think it's the normals. Let me check. The shadows are kind of similar. I'm noticing the back fur. It looks okay, but the front just looks so refined. But I think it's the normal. I think it's the actual shape. I don't think it'd be helped too much. I'd have to, like, overpaint it. My favorite lesson in game design is Mario Galaxy 1. Basic mechanics throughout the galaxy and test you between the class. Yeah. I think nowadays, especially with movie-like games, Last of Us, those in-depth emotional stories are very popular. Those dopamine movies, such as action movies, don't cut it anymore. Yeah, I don't like games that are just, like, story-driven, because I'm there to play a game. If I wanted to watch a show and chill out on the couch, I would do that, you know? That's how I view it. Like, I noticed I would just, like, sometimes I'll just randomly open chess, like, on Lee Chess, and just start playing people in chess, like, anonymously, because I don't have an account on it, because I don't want to take it too seriously, because then I get, like, too into it, and then I, like, care about my elo and shit. But I noticed that I just want, like, the challenge of a thing without, like, all the other crap, if that makes sense. And that's why I like Engage, because you just skip the story. How's it going, Jumuffin? We're working on a rat today. So done with story-driven games. That's all that people talk about anymore. Yeah, I don't think story-driven games are really fun, usually. They usually have bad gameplay mechanics, explicitly. Not on purpose, but that's just like, you know, the result of making a game story driven. You're probably gonna have bad gameplay mechanics. Let me render this. The only thing I don't like is when I render it, it renders the whole outfit. I'm trying to see what just this part looks like. Ugh. I can always touch up textures too, like if something looks good or bad in Unreal, I can always... There's our boy. I think the front fur looks the best and the back fur, which I guess is fine. As long as it looks like decent. Alright, then the hat and stuff, that'll have to get rendered. Here, let's focus on the ear. And like the hands. So here's what we have for that. So here's base rat skin. Here's rat skin shadow. So let's do like a highlight. Shadow. I might as well stay within this fold. So we can create a fill. Actually, yeah, let's just... We'll do all of these. So that's the highlight color. We'll just put high. I'll just start like with the naming mask. So it's shinier, and then we want to give it height of 0.1. So it actually bumps off. And then we'll get a new brush. Something organic. Let's try this. Something like this might look good. Or maybe even like noise. I like story, but I like gameplay more. Same. Like if it has a good story, that's good, but I'd much rather gameplay be like insane. That's the wrong. I don't know about this. That's too extreme. Let's try artistic soft. Oh, that might be better. This might be the one we want. Gets you that nice, like... See how it makes it, like, all bumpy now? Because it's noise, so really we're painting on a layer with dots. So then if we go, like... this... we can start to add this, like, skin. And let me check... We can make the color more extreme because it barely shows through. Yeah, so because it barely shows through, if we make the color more extreme, you'll see it better. Make it more... Sort of balance it. That looks good, I think. And then we'll like paint this on. So this will be like the skin. So then when you actually look at it, the light, it's very subtle from far away, but especially up close, you'll notice it. It breaks up this, and it adds a little bit of extra color. So it's almost like we're airbrushing skin onto it. Proposed combination of story-driven and core mechanics. It's fantastic. Baldur's Gate's a perfect combination. Yeah, it can be. I like Half-Life. Baldur's Gate was too much story for me. I prefer things more like Half-Life or BioShock, where there's like enough story that if you're interested, you can hang out and investigate and see what's going on, but it doesn't like drown you in story, if that makes sense. Like Baldur's Gate is definitely like a Fallout type game, if that makes sense. Like a Fallout, like New Vegas type of thing, where you have like all these options, a lot of dialogue. It's definitely more fleshed out than that, though, like the New Vegas. But I can understand why people really like that game, because it's like D&D. Yeah, I tried Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know, I just didn't do it for me. I think because they were borrowing from Lovecraft so much, and like with like the opening enemies, it just kind of bothered me. I don't know why. And then like some of the gameplay stuff, like how the camera disjoints, like the camera breaks off of you, and then you have to like move it around freely. It felt like I was like in God mode the whole time, or playing like Age of Empires or something, and I just couldn't get into it. I prefer SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, unironically. I've heard about that game, actually, that it's good. Funny enough, I have heard that that's a good game. What is Baldur's Gate? It's like a turn-based, like 3D game that is very story-driven, I would say. It's the gate that Baldur made. That is also true. Ah. Oh yes, the gate that Baldur made. Of course. But of course. I see. You making your own game? I am. It's an Unreal 5 engine game. I'm working on one of the enemies right now. The hand-painted rat enemy. It's also a jester rat. This is just the skin. Like the base. There's clothing too. I just have it toggled off. Right here. The hat. I still need to paint it more though. I just have the materials on it right now. There's like armor and stuff. Painting the skin. I'm adding these bumps to it that also add redness. A little bit in here. Just a little bit. Size parts of the side of the ear. You don't want to do too much. You don't want to just like evenly distribute it. You want it to kind of serve a purpose. But here's like with a with and without this. A little bit of emphasis here. We'll be adding this to all the skin. Is it influenced by Fire Emblem? In some ways, yeah. It will be a completely different thing, but it will be a strategy game on a grid. So it'll be similar in that way. I'll show more of it once we have demo and stuff. But I'll be working on art on stream, so you can always catch that and see like how it's progressing. But it'll be a stylized 3D game with like a hand-painted art style. Like everything will be made in this way. So I won't be using like any store assets, like generic 3D anything. It's all going to be made by me, basically. It is all. No, but I just like to have a consistent art. Also, I don't want to be using like store assets or having I mean, if multiple artists were working on it, I would make sure they could style match, I guess. You want a really good 3D? Recommend Battle for Bikini Bottom that are Hat in Time. I've heard about a Hat in Time. Rat skin. We'll do bumps too. So we'll do kind of like positive details, like I'm adding height and color, and then we'll do like darker ones that reduce. That looks like pores. You make the skin. You skin the rats and wear the pelts. Are you asking if we can kill rats for materials and craft it into wearable armor? I don't know. I don't think so. I can make it so that they can drop items, but I don't know how I'm gonna handle item drops yet. If it's gonna be like set enemies drop items or if there's randomness. There's really a case for both. For either, really. But either could be good. Rat. I can almost like barely tell. Oh, there you go. I specifically meant as an intimidation tactic. to intimidate the rats. Well, you're not going to be fighting these forever. It's just going to be like the early stages of the game for like some of the tutorial levels and stuff. And then there might be the occasional rat like other levels and depending on the area, but I want to have a lot of enemies in this game. Wouldn't it make sense to do the FE thing? Have certain out of the way enemies drop valuable items. Challenge incentive. Yeah, there's definitely going to be like rare and hidden artifacts and things that are out of your way. You have to go out of your way to get. There's also going to be like mini bosses that are hidden and stuff like this. So I do want to incentivize exploration after the battle, which could lead to more like mini battles and like hidden areas and stuff like this. So I think that would be something that would be good. Probably should hit. I was like to check what it does. See like if I missed an area, because the lighting can be hard to say or hard to see. Can you eat rat meat? I don't think so. It's not gonna be like crafting like that. I don't think that's gonna be part of the thing. Can you? Yes. Should you though? You can technically eat rat meat. Should you? Should you eat? It's a philosophical question. Oh, I could hit up these nails because these have just been a solid color forever. And by forever, I mean like 2 streams. They're really not that long. Who would not eat rat? Who would not? No, I don't think you should eat rat meat. Probably gross. That and those rats had families. So who are we to eat their meat and deprive them of a family? Rats are disease-carrying pests. But if you take care of them well or stuff them full of antibiotics, you can't eat them. Look, man, I just want to make sure they never challenge me again. Eat the rat meat. Alright, it's subtle, but it does something. Especially up close. You're gonna be viewing them. Alright, let's hit up... Oh yeah, let's do it. Copy and paste it. Clear the mask. Then we change this to be super dark. Height minus 0.1. Remove the roughness. Because the highlights should make the highlighted areas smoother. Did you see the stupid Vander thing I said? I don't think I did yet. It's on my other computer. Let's do more. Oh, I'm sorry, spray. That's definitely... What spot? Spot spray is not bad. If we reduced... Yeah, this could be good. You like. It's almost like hard to perceive so far away. Me when rats do rat things. I will eat you. The reason NY has a rat infestation is because the buildings are hundreds of years old and people throw their food away in the street. I saw a rat in the KFC once. This is in the Netherlands. Same problem as in NY. The New York rat. What does this look like? Ooh, I actually like that. You can like hit up joints. This. Oh yeah, here we go. Hit up these joints. Some of these. Maybe like underneath. Discolor it a little bit. There's like pockets of shadow. This song is fun. Like, these are all just random remixes from just like miscellaneous songs. Or miscellaneous like games. You don't want to go to the rat KFC. The song is so whimsical, dude. This song is awesome. What the hell? You also worked in a supermarket at the rat infestation? Damn. This skin is looking deep. Okay, let's go to the nail. Oh, maybe we should do shadow. Well, let's do that. Let's get a nice brush. Not too. I could probably use the knife. I could turn on symmetry because these are symmetrical. Can't imagine working at fast food place at NYC. Rats would be your colleagues. Rats would be your colleagues. Look at these. Wouldn't rats look at mice how we look at monkeys? Maybe. You might be onto something. Get the felt tip. Well, we'll do like that's. We'll do a height of 0.1. Sharp. These are like dumb layer names. Doesn't really matter. Because like once it all exports into one file, it truly doesn't matter as long as I know what it is. Oh, that's way too. I'll have to tone down that code. So you know what? Let's make it so that it's off. 0.2. Tiny. Maybe we don't even want. Try jack up the. Almost looks like it's alias. We're anti-aliasing. Maybe if I make it broader, because it's like when you zoom out, it's gonna be hard to see. You want to make. Yeah, so now if you compare these to these, you can see like the difference. It makes it seem shinier and like helps like the form read better. It's kind of soft because it's soft normal. No bake information, so. Now it looks like it. Gotta get both. And we can do the same thing with the shadows. Gotta get these nails done. Oops. light, the sides will shine, and the general thing will kind of be shiny. It'll look kind of cool. And then we can do more to it as well. So I can like grab the, clear this. We can do like shadow. Fill the roughness. -0.2. Maybe -0.1. Or like. So I can give those like strands, you know. Kind of hard to see it, but we'll add it really quick. Listen to my story. This may be our last chance. You never played Final Fantasy X? I have not. That was on PlayStation, right? I had like GameCube and PC for that era. I didn't really have a PS2 or whatever. Oh, here we go. There we go. Those are the nice details. These ones up here look a little bad. I just added. I'll redo them in the style of the ones in the back. Yeah, like that. That looks much more realistic. Start with this and then paper it with pen pressure. That's much better too. I'll probably make it darker again. Bottoms? I don't need to do the bottoms, but alright, those nails I think look decent. I still need to hit the nose, the teeth, and then the rest of the stuff. Then parts of the fur could be done much better near the back. The front, I think, looks the best. And as it gets further back, it looks kind of sus. But we'll touch it up later. Alright, that's it for tonight's art stream. We got most of the fur done. I feel like I should go back. I mean, I might do the back like tomorrow. Like touch up like a lot of this stuff. The Jester variant has this. This is what the Jester variant looks like. The white on there is like a rendering bug that just happens in Substance. So like some of the big parts, we at the very least should make this and this look. I think a lot of it's like shaping up. These are in flat colors still. Done. Your favorite game? Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out, everyone. If you enjoy it, definitely like the stream and subscribe if you want. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.